What's up, guys? Championship Sunday. Meaningful football is over. I don't want to talk about it. I'm not bitter at all. Let's get to the games. We have the AFC, NFC championships. Of course, in the NFC, we have the Rams versus the Saints in New Orleans. And then the AFC, we have the Patriots going to Kansas City to face the Chiefs. Let's get into it. All right, let's start with the championship game between the Saints and the Rams. The Rams, of course, traveling from L.A. to New Orleans to take on the New Orleans Saints in the Superdome. I want to start by talking about the mystique of the Superdome, because this is what a lot of people are focusing on. They think that the Saints are unbeatable in the Superdome, so let's break that down. They've lost 3 games in the Superdome, all playoff games. All games were wildcard games. So granted, they were hosting, but I'd have to look back and really break it down. But, you know, they might have just been their division leaders, but the wild card was a dangerous team in another very tough division. That's always the case, potentially. So you have that situation. Otherwise, all these other games that they hosted, chances are they were the better team going into it. So you have the magic of the Superdome, but in order to host a playoff game, you probably are the better team, especially once you get to the divisional and conference rounds. That means you had a better regular season, and that's why you're able to be the home team in the playoff game. So while it's impressive that they have this record where they've won their last 8 home playoff games, that's very impressive. That doesn't come from nowhere. But at the same time, they earn that right by being a better team in general. So is it the magic of the Superdome, or is it the fact that their hosting is just a byproduct of them being a dominant team all year? I don't know. It's an interesting thing to look at. It doesn't really matter, though, right? Because the results are the same. The reason that they're 8-0 when they're hosting is because they have good teams. That's not different this year. They're hosting the Rams, right? So the Rams are going from L.A., traveling all the way across the country to New Orleans. And that's going to be a tough road game for them, I think. They, granted, beat the Cowboys, and I guess it's worth noting how the Rams beat the Cowboys. They did it by running it down the defense's throat. It seemed like every single time the Rams got a carry, they were getting 6, 7, 8 yards, and they just couldn't stop them. I don't know why that happened, because I think, in general, the Cowboys have a very good defensive front. They've been good against the run in general, or at least halfway decent. I don't know why they're so effective, but I think Sean Payton's smarter than I am, and I think that he will figure out a way for his defense to shut them down. If you put the ball in Jared Goff's hands and say, hey, Jared, win us this game, I think that's very, very difficult to do. I think that in the Superdome, he's not a rookie. What is this, his 3rd year or something? Jared Goff, he's still young. I think in the Superdome, he gets intimidated. I think he loses. I think he loses if you make him beat you. Now, granted, you have Todd Gurley, you have C.J. Anderson, who's been running all over the place, but like I said, if you can stop that run game somehow, and I think Sean Payton will figure out a way defensively. If you can stop that run game, I think you win that game. And we're talking about the Rams offense. Getting to the Saints offense, you have also a 2-headed attack, right? You have Alvin Kamara, you have Mark Ingram. Sorry, a little sick. You have Drew Brees, who's this veteran quarterback that's able to pick apart defenses. Michael Thomas has been unbelievable. You have an advantage offensively, and then defensively, you have the tools and the game planning and the scheming to shut them down. Now, I know Sean McVay is a very good coach as well. I just think Sean Payton has more, not weapons, because I think on paper almost the Rams have more weapons head-to-head. But I think Sean Payton has people who understand how to play in the big moment, and they'll have an entire city behind them that you can hear. You know, the Rams fan base, it's all right. You know, there's some people who have kind of gravitated towards it, but L.A., we know L.A. is not necessarily known for their fan base, and I just feel like them being on the road, I think it's going to be tough. I think it's going to be tough for them. I think that the Saints win. I think Drew Brees wins with his veteran presence, and I see the Saints going to the Super Bowl. All right, AFC Championship game, Patriots traveling to Arrowhead to play the Kansas City Chiefs. That's the difference, right, in the regular season. Not to keep talking about these home field advantages, but the Patriots beat the Chiefs already, barely. It was a close game, and they did it in Foxborough. Now they're traveling, but also they're really clicking into gear because that's what the Patriots do. They get ready for the playoffs. By the time they hit the playoffs, they're firing on all cylinders. They're one of the most dominant teams in football. We've seen it over and over again. This is their 8th consecutive AFC Championship game, and they're playing what is essentially a rookie quarterback. Obviously, Patrick Mahomes, 2nd year, 1st year playing. He's looked great. It seems like there's no spotlight, no moment that's too big for him, so that's something to worry about if you're a Patriots fan. But you still do have the veteran Tom Brady versus an inexperienced playoff quarterback, or just quarterback in general, Patrick Mahomes. That's the big moment. That's what I keep focusing on. So you have Drew Brees versus Jared Goff. I think Brees gets the job done. You have Tom Brady versus Patrick Mahomes. I think Brady gets the job done. I understand it's in Arrowhead. Have you ever seen, granted Foxborough is a huge advantage, don't get me wrong, but have you ever seen the Patriots look intimidated? They've been here. It's routine for them. It's run of the mill. They've been in this position so many times in these big playoff games that I don't think anything changes in that respect. I think that Tom Brady knows how to pick teams apart. I think Bill Belichick knows how to scheme and come up with a game plan that's going to win. Now, what you need to do if you're a Patriots fan, in my opinion, or Patriots game plan or whatever, in my opinion, is you need to control the ball, take the explosive Kansas City Chiefs offense, keep them off the field. You do that by running the ball. I think that they're more than able to run the ball, do these little screen plays you do, these extended handoffs, these little shovel passes. We've seen it all year. I don't think Brady's arm really is as bad as people are saying it is. People keep talking about how Brady is showing his age and he looks old. When he's throwing downfield, he's still pretty damn accurate. And he knows how to read, his ability to read defenses and find the openings and pick apart a zone if they decide to play a zone, that's never changed, right? So you have all this working in the Patriots' favor, and more than anything else, I think you have game planning. Now, I understand Andy Reid is also a very good coach. He'll be able to make adjustments mid-game, but Andy Reid has had little success recently anyway in the playoffs. He seems to lose these kind of games. I don't want to put too much merit on that because this is a very different team with all the weapons they have with of course, Patrick Mahomes. It's a different team. The Chiefs are definitely scary. They're definitely dangerous. But if you're talking who wins a game between Bill Belichick and Andy Reid, 9 times out of 10 is going to be Bill Belichick. I think he finds a way to win this one. And this will be a difficult game. While I think the Saints have the potential of absolutely blowing out the Rams, I think this is a much closer game, but I think the Patriots eke it out. If you're going to make bets on this, by the way, if you want to do a little teaser, I would almost tease the Chiefs because they're the favorites, and I think that it'll be a close enough game where you can switch that, but whatever. I don't want to talk about the gambling because I don't do it. I don't know, man. I think the veteran quarterback makes all the difference in the world in both these games. I think you can tell I'm not as sure about this one, but I think Tom Brady wins this game. I think Drew Brees wins that game, and then I think you have a nightmare Super Bowl matchup for Falcons fans, right? You have the team that had the most historic comeback in Super Bowl history. I forget what the exact numbers are, but I'm sure every Patriots and Falcons fan remembers them. You have the Patriots coming into your home, and then you have your biggest in-division rival in the New Orleans Saints. They're coming into your home too, and they're going to duke it out, and one of them is going to raise the trophy right in your face. So that stinks. I think that's what's going to happen, though. I think you get Patriots versus Saints. I think you get Tom Brady versus Drew Brees. Both of them, near the last seasons of their career. I think arguably the winner of that game may retire, or maybe both guys. Who knows? It's going to be very interesting. But I think that's what you have going into this, and there's plenty on the horizon, plenty of future hope for Jared Goff and Patrick Mahomes and both those squads. But I think you get Tom Brady, Drew Brees, Patriots, Saints, Super Bowl. All right, thanks, guys. I hope you enjoy these breakdowns. I'm going to do another one for the Super Bowl, obviously. If you want more elaborate discussion on this and everything else in the sports world, please download, rate, review, subscribe to the Disorderly Podcast. You can check us out at thedisorderly.com, the best in sports and entertainment. You can find us on Twitter at Disorderly Media, Facebook at Disorderly ENT, and you can find me on Twitter at Nick Rizner, Nickrizner. Thanks, guys. Peace.